Boy, today did I wake up to a ton of really interesting videos that are causing a hell of a lot of fear and a lot of disinformation. One of this video is Von Hulten, um, who appears to be a very angry person, seems to be a very loving person, trying to do his best. Um, Putting out this little warning of a collapse. There's a couple of other videos. I'll post this one and you can see the links that this guy is suggesting that you watch. And it's about pole shift. One thing that I got a problem with is there's a magnetic pole shift, but what he's talking about is a physical pole shift. And it's like, what's the difference? A magnetic pole shift is a physical pole shift. I mean, it will be felt physically. It's what particles do. It's how particles are affected by our magnetism, which we have inside us, which the planet has. The whole universe operates on a magnetic, how can I say it? Push-pull. And yeah, it really does look like the planet is about to experience a pole shift, a magnetic shift. But we don't understand the universe. We don't understand the epicenter of our whole entire experiences. We don't know what the planet is yet. We don't know what gravity is yet. We have so many unanswered questions, but yet we're going to base conclusions on things we know nothing about. Um, then I just seen this other video of, there's this soul play guy, I guess, is putting out videos of this other guy talking about, oh, I went up into this alien ship and they gave me some answers. And even those answers are, first of all, it's true and false. Some of the things that I said, part of it is true, some of it is false. And the only way I'm judging what's false is, okay, you just contradicted yourself. It does not make sense if you say one thing and then the next words is the opposite of what you just said. And it's really hard to explain that, but I see that perfectly. And most people say, oh, I'm twisting your words around. And it's like, no, I'm an observation of your own words, that I'm only going to point it out to you. And when you see that it's twisted, it's like, no, that's how twisted your words are, and you can't see it yet. But as the observer, it's like, does this make sense to you? Now, there is a pole shift that's going to happen. And there are patterns within patterns within patterns. And the only way to jump out of this pattern that humanity has been facing for thousands of years is to recognize the pattern to be able to jump out of it. Which is the same thing that we do over and over and over again. And how can we possibly stop it? And that's what I've had to study, because my genetic history has a very long historical past of abuse, and married into a family that has the same genetics, and having children, I do not want that pattern repeated. So it's been a life mission to find out how to break patterns, because before I had kids, I thought I was breaking patterns, but ultimately I found out I wasn't breaking any pattern, and just, it's almost like you're in a room, you don't like the room, so you're going to paint the room and think it's a different room. And ultimately that's what I did, is I was just painting the room a different color, thinking that I had made a difference, but I didn't. And there's no way that I'm going to have all the answers. So whatever I'm saying is not necessarily going to be the full and complete truth, because we are all small pieces of the puzzle and we all have something to offer, and every single one of us are going to be part right and part wrong. And when we are able to combine everything that we know, our contradictions with each other will tell us what's false. That's how you can tell what truth is when there's zero contradictions. Then you know it's true. But as long as there's one contradiction, then it can't be true. Now, the pattern of abuse is caused by hate. And you can see this with Hitler wanted to wipe out all of the Jews, just exterminate the whole culture. So the Jews now are using the same language and they want to wipe out another culture. They've turned into their enemy and they can't even see that happening within themselves. I've seen videos on Jewish people that are just on the street giving their opinion, and they're saying, yes, we need to wipe out all of the Palestinians. No explanation as to why, other than they're just no good and we need to wipe them all out. And it's like, those are the words of Hitler, and you're Jewish. I would think that you wouldn't want to act like Hitler, seeing what he did to you. But we turn into our hates, and we can't see it. And that's what's about to happen. Is you got all of these really, really wealthy people that are controlling the freaking planet, and so now you've got two sides, the rich and the poor. So now the poor don't exactly love the rich. There's a lot of hate towards the rich. So what are they going to do? They're going to transform into the rich. So the new slave masters will be the poor people. And that's just not the way to go. It's and I'm noticing so many that are losing their homes today that they just want to take over and get their stuff back and take away the control of these rich people so that they can be the new controllers of the game. And that's not the deal. I mean, if you want to wish for yourself, you have to wish it for everybody. And what is it that we all want? And it really does seem like we all have a death wish. We all seem to want to die. And this last video that I just watched, I mean, this enlightened guy is saying, abort the planet, abort the planet. It's like, you don't even know what the planet is. How can you abort yourself? It's almost like this alien thing that we're believing in is, don't bother saving yourself. There's no hope in saving yourself. Just run away. It just seems like all of our experiences are, okay, sin and destroy, and then run away. Where it's like, no, if you've done something wrong, you need to fix it. And that's the shift, I think. That there's a potential, two potentials that can happen. Either we're going to transform into everything we hate, which will kill us, and that's the shift, that's the pole shift. You can, a lot of people are predicting the total destruction of the planet, and that's a possibility if we remain hateful. But we can make this polarized shift within self. If you transform your own personal hate into love, then we've made the shift that we need to make in order to survive this friggin' future. And by far, I do not mean just be the love. There's more to it. Because while I was the victim of crime, love didn't pay the bills. Love didn't solve all of the problems. Love didn't stop the criminal from being a criminal. You have to know a little bit more. It seems, like our perception right now, I mean, the criminal that I was faced with was my ex-husband. how do you stop him from doing harm to my life? Like, send him love? What idea of love? What would make this guy stop his criminal actions? Like, if I was loving towards him, his idea of love is for me to just die, go away. His idea of love is constantly give him everything that he selfishly wants, and just, allow him to consume and suck the living energy out of me. That is what 20 years of living with that guy was all about. Is like, I sent lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of love, and it's like, there's no love back. There's just more pain, more abuse, the more loving I was. So how we perceive love is not what you think it is. And that is what we need to do, is learn what love is. Love for self, love for planet, love for everybody. And have some understanding. For me right now, the love that I have for my ex, the love that I think needs to transform, is the fact that I understand where he's coming from now. I can forgive him for what he's done. Don't like his actions, I will always remain. You need to fix the wrongs that you did in order for you to feel the love that you're lacking. But I know that he's just lacking love within himself. He cannot receive love. And why? Because he has a family history of not being able to receive love. There's no sign of anything in his genetics that we're loving. It was always a survival, and beat each other down and judge each other, and I don't see any one of them happy. And so if they're not happy, how is it that they understand what love was? Isn't that an example that there was no sign of love if they're not happy? And the same with my genetics. Nobody in my family past is happy. And you can love them all they want, but the only way that they feel love is if you're doing everything they want you to do, and at the end of the day, they still don't feel love. They're still angry. They never have enough. It's constantly sucking and sucking and sucking love out of somebody else instead of giving love. So just being love is not going to be good enough. It is a transformation that we need to make of our hates. Find out why you hate. What's the cause of your hate? Don't turn into your hates. Look at what's good about your hates, because everything that was hateful in my experience, I ended up growing from it, being stronger, had more love from understanding, and we are about to make a polar shift. But the polar shift is within us. The planet is not what you think it is. It's all a bunch of particles that none of them are touching. Nothing is solid. If nothing is solid, then it can be transformed into anything that we wish it to transform into. Our beliefs right now are holding everything together. Our beliefs right now are creating the hell that is being created. I mean, if we actually believe something really, really good's about to happen, then we would create something really, really good. But right now I'm seeing nothing but fear and destruction, and that is what's inside of us all right now. So you bet that's what's gonna happen. So it's like, find love in your own heart, be forgiving, be understanding. We're just in the middle of waking up, and there are many, many, many levels of waking up. But the only way that you're ever going to fully wake up is if you are able to turn on your receivers for love and send out love. Send and receive the love that you need. And be the example, because we mirror each other. And we can say one thing, but our words mean nothing. It's our actions that we tend to imitate. And when we focus on negative shit, we tend to rebuild and, copy and copy everything that's negative. But when somebody gives you a compliment, Don't you know what's right and you want to do more of that? So give out a compliment. Look for something good in others so that they can do more and more good. Justin, could be wrong. Peace out.